Hello and welcome to It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Joining me today is Julie Gaudry, who is Senior Director of Group Insurance at RBC Insurance. Thanks for joining us today, Julie.
Hi, Mario. Thanks for having me.
Okay, well, RBC put out some survey data just recently on kind of like the mental and financial health of Canadians. Let's take a look at some of the key findings, I guess. First of all, 62% rank mental health as good or excellent, which is down a little bit from 66% a year ago. Can you talk a little bit about that finding and why that's important?
Sure, and certainly those headlines are something we're hearing a lot of these days. The impact that the ongoing social isolation and the uncertainty with business, and the impact that's having on employees and their mental health. So yes, you're right. We did see that 62% of Canadians who were employed or recently let go rank their mental health at excellent or good, down from 66 in 2019. But there were some interesting variations of that if we started to split the data a bit by looking at demographics such as age or gender. So for example, women seem to be more likely to be negatively impacted. So about 58% of women ranking their mental health as excellent or good versus 67% of men. So women definitely having a harder toll with that. Same goes for an interesting pattern with age. Younger working Canadians seem to be more significantly impacted, and the difference here was pretty significant. 51% of young Canadians indicated that they'd rank their mental health as good or excellent, whereas 72% of those over age 55 said the same. So a pretty big difference with younger working Canadians reporting a lower level of mental health.
Yeah, exactly. When we looked at financial health, 45% rank financial health as excellent or good since the pandemic. I'm almost surprised it's even that high. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. There would be a number of things that would factor into somebody's sense of financial health. And certainly the uncertainty around work and the economy that's been created by a number of the physical distancing measures and business closures, I'm sure plays a large part. We did see an interesting trend there, a bit hidden in the data, but if we did ask people if they had insurance coverage or not, whether that was group, through their employer's group benefits or through an individual policy they may have purchased. And interestingly there, those who have some form of insurance coverage ranked their mental health at 65% of them said excellent or good versus 55% who don't have any insurance coverage, so a 10-point split. And a similar pattern when looking at how they rank their financial health. 48% of them, so slightly above that overall average, saying they would rank it as excellent or good, with only 36% of those who don't have any form of insurance coverage. So certainly some sense of financial protection through insurance coverage is playing a role in self-reported levels of financial health.
Okay, with increasing difficulties out there for people, one of the things that the survey looked at was virtual care options. What did it find in that regard?
Yeah, so it's interesting in that, and not surprisingly, we've seen a lot of services move to virtual delivery over the last little while as face-to-face becomes increasingly challenging. And so this was a question we'd asked in prior surveys as well. So when we asked people if they would use video chat or web or telephone-based health support to consult with a mental health practitioner, 67% of them in this year's survey said they would do that, and that's up 17 points from 2019. So we're seeing a pretty significant increase in terms of that comfort level with virtual delivery of healthcare, in particular as it results to getting support for your mental health.
Okay. Now, the other thing, obviously, in this time and these difficult times, I'm wondering how employers can support the well-being of their staff.
Yeah, so employers play an important role, right? They are with their employees. They're frequently communicating to their employees. And through their group benefits package with an insurer, they already have access likely to a whole host of services that they could promote to their employees and encourage them to use. So in addition to ongoing communication to bring awareness of those resources to employees, they also can create a culture where it's okay to talk about how we're feeling, right? A culture of well-being where it's an open and safe space to talk about how we're dealing, how we're coping or not with the challenges in front of us, and feel comfortable asking for help. So they want to regularly promote those resources and take a look at what they have. They likely have support through their employee assistance program, coverage for counseling under their group benefits plan, or if they were a client of RBC Insurance, for example, they would also have access to online therapist-assisted cognitive behavioral therapy. So there's a lot of resources available that employees can take advantage of if they know about them. And that can sometimes be a challenge, is to have them think about what they have access to, or for their manager to remember how to have that conversation or what kind of challenges their employees may be facing. And so we also are putting in programs to support managers. We've put in a series of manager webinars to help them understand the role they play in supporting the mental and overall well-being of their employees, and how to effectively support employees through this challenging time.
Yeah, and we are in interesting times, obviously, and it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon, with Prime Minister saying that we're into a second wave, and then we see the numbers in Quebec and Ontario. So will you guys be doing another survey, or when's the next survey, do you think, on this?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of technical difficulty there. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, it's something that we'll definitely monitor over time. Like I said, we ran a number of these questions through a poll in 2019 and again in 2020. In addition to formal polls like that out of there of Canadians, we're obviously regularly soliciting feedback from our clients and from the insurance advisors that support them to understand what they need, the challenges they're facing, and how we can support them. So we're continually working directly with our clients to get a pulse check on how their employees are doing and what we can do to support them. So encourage those employers to take a peek at what they have. When in doubt, ask their insurance provider what additional support they can give.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us today, Julie.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that was Julie Gaudry, who is Senior Director of Group Insurance at RBC Insurance. This has been It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Thanks for joining us today.